The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
You're lucky it's really warm in here because it's really not out there. Wow. Just make sure that's off.
Decent enough soup, isn't it?
Very good. Oh, you got a different one? We had parsnip and some Italian parsnip, I think. Huh? Right.
First of all, how's your injury?
It's going well, actually. 2.5 weeks in. Very light jogging, bit of strength. Going well, a bit of eccentric strength, I'm told by the physios. It's going all right. Recovery's on, well and truly on.
How long?
I don't know, a few weeks, yeah. I think I'm not. Normally I run up here, as you know, especially in weather like this, and then I run back down, but no, not today.
How is the weather affecting preparations for the weekend?
Well, it's been all right. It's only today. Tuesday was fine. We missed it here, and then we missed it on the pitch. We had a game which a few got 90 minutes in, so that was important for us. So it hasn't really affected anything other than today, so we'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. And
no worries, I suppose, about the game. Sometimes the surrounding areas can affect that.
Yeah, that'll be out of our hands. Obviously, we're hopeful that unless there's another big heavy fall overnight on Friday, then we were hopeful the pitch should be okay. And inside the stadium, obviously it's out of our hands, with the police side of things. But we're obviously very, very hopeful and looking forward to the game.
In terms of the squad, Chris Wood, Tokarski, Tom Heaton came
It's for you to say.
Yeah, I know.
It's all right.
I haven't eaten yet.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. I make the same. That's why I call him Tarky.
Came through a game this week as well.
Yeah. It was important to get more minutes into the players, and Woody got 90. Tom Heaton another 90. Tarky got 90. So really pleased with that. GK just more for his continuing sort of to adapt to what we do and what we are. Naki equally just to get minutes on, and Dimani as well. So yeah, slowly but sure. Well, no, we were slow but sure, but now I think it's speeding up. I think we're getting bodies back a bit quicker and more minutes into them, which is good, so they can come back or get up and running the best they can, other than playing in the real thing, of course.
Any of them ready for the weekend?
Certainly in the thinking. I'm decided who plays for what reason, but they're certainly in the thinking. I think they're definitely fit enough to be considered.
Is this where we can talk about the decision that faces you with the goalkeepers then?
No, I don't think that one's as relevant. I think Tom's old enough and wise enough to know what he needs as much as I know what he needs, and he'll certainly make sure that he'll let us know when he's ready. But he's certainly training very well. He played very well the other day. In all the good stuff that he has to do, his voice and taking care of the simple stuff. I always think keepers who do that are usually good keepers, and he does it very, very well. And he's trained well again, over the last period before, in between the last game and this one. So he's certainly coming back towards the thinking. But I still think he'll let us know when he's fully ready. And of course he knows the form of Popey as well, and Anders, who's been sitting in the background a little bit. So, he knows he's got to deal with that as well. But the first things first, and I've always said it, is to make sure that he's absolutely 100% fit, and he's very, very close.
And we were talking last week about Nick possibly being in Gareth Southgate's thoughts as well, as certainly coming into the thinking, and he pulls off a save like that from Joshua Sims last week as well.
Yeah, great save. And he's maturing well, and he's... I think he's at a good stage of his development, especially working at this level of the game, and I think that's all credit to him and to Billy Mercer and the other goalkeepers, because I think we've got a really good group, and I think they're, like most good goalkeeping groups, they stimulate each other. The pressure's on in training to make sure they're delivering, to stay sharp, and I think they do that well.
I'll just ask you about VAR again, because it keeps rearing up.
I've noticed anything. Has anything gone on? Or?
Well, a few complaints last night after the Spurs-Rochdale game once again. What do you make of what's going on with this
Was
trial?
it not a double-edged sword from both managers? Was one saying it was one of the most exciting things he's seen in a long time, and the other one saying he was questioning
not happy with it and questioning it, taking in the Pochettino was questioning whether it takes the emotion out of the game.
Well, the main thing for me is to get right decisions. Simple as that. You've got to find a way of maximising the chance of the officials to get the right decision. And we've had a few go against us just recently, so it would have been helpful, I think, to have VAR, certainly on our occasions. But the bigger picture thing is I've said it over the last few times I've been asked. It takes time for things to get streamlined and to work. You've got all the parts, not just the technology. You've got all the people involved to get used to it. There'll be. I'm sure the refs look at it with thinking, I want to be sure, even with VAR. As we all know, sometimes things do look slightly different on a screen. But I think the end product will be trying to help referees in the good job that they do to ensure that they get the best chance to give the best decisions. And I think, so therefore for me, it's a definite that it has to come in. It's just getting it to work as quickly and as fairly and as simply so that everyone understands it as possible. That will come over time, I'm pretty sure of that.
When you're on a run like you are and looking for that next win, is pressure created, or is that eased somewhat because of where you remain in the Premier League table at the moment? No,
I think you've got your own pressure on what you want, and we found a result hard to come by, some out of our hands, some certainly within our hands, and we've got to make sure that we take care of our own business. I'm not really one for making too many excuses. I questioned a few things that happened last week. We were below par against Swansea, but other than that, in the run that we've had, we've actually delivered some very good performances, I feel. So, it's to not go too far away from the performance level, because that's important over time, but of course add to it enough to go and get a win. And then once you get one, we know that often it changes, so, but getting that first win is what we're looking for. We've done very well over the season, but we want to get back to winning ways. It's simple. Runs we're not... runs for me and Burnley Football Club, it's more about a season's work. Runs are a different thing here because we have a reality, the challenge that is being Burnley in the Premier League. So runs are different. They can come and go, as long as obviously, we are in a very healthy position. So that is different, of course. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that we want to not win games, because that's ridiculous. Of course we want to win games. What I'm saying is, over the season, the points tally we've got and where we are is very pleasing. Now we've got to adjust things, correct things, get all the people fit in the club, which is starting to happen, and then take on the last 10 games with that freedom, but also that organisation it takes for us to win games. So that's what we look to do. What
then have you made of Everton, particularly as now there seems to be speculation as to what's going to happen with Sam Allardyce?
Well, firstly, it's none of my business, but from the outside looking in, then a change of manager often brings a change of format somewhat, a change of way of working, which is obvious. Sam's got his way of working, and very successful he's been, by the way, over many years. I think it's the adjustment to that, it's the adjustment to the crowd's evaluation of it. Crowds are more powerful than ever. It's both literally in a stadium and through all the different media streams. So they'll have a view. But I'm pretty sure, I know Sam a little bit, I think he'll stick to what he believes is right and proper for the team to get results. I don't think I'll be surprised if there's a radical shift in his beliefs. I think he'll stick somewhat to the format. And like most managers, he'll believe in what he does with the right reasons, because his success speaks for itself over many years and many different clubs. So I'm sure he believes in what he's doing, and it's for his players to continue believing in that. Like I said, I work with my players, and I think our performances have shown our players believe in what we're doing. We've had a tough run, so it happens. Like I said, I'm not to judge others. I'm just giving an outside view of it. It does take time for things to change.
Obviously, you were linked with the Everton job at the time as well. In some ways, and this is a simplistic view, though, do you feel that you may have dodged a bullet? Because in some respects, when the new manager went in, it was to get out of trouble. There was no bullet to dodge.
There was no bullet to dodge. I was here. I said I was here. I said I was going to be here. I'm still here. So it was an outside story. I've had a few of them in the right way, actually, since I've been here. And I think tomorrow's my 250th game. So I'm still here. I'm still working hard. I've still got the fire in my stomach to be successful here and to create an atmosphere and a culture and an environment, or to continue to create one that can be successful. So that's my focus.
And that winner at Goodison earlier this season probably typifies the way you would like to play all the time, wouldn't it, that goal?
Yeah, I mean, we've had to be slightly different because we've had so many changes, obviously, through injuries over this period. I thought we had a nice way that we were working early season, the way we were going about it, and the mixed play that I like to think is, gives us the best chance of success. We're getting somewhat back towards that. So, we look firstly to continue delivering performances in general, but obviously want to, get them margins right to go and get performances that can win.
Couple of final things. First of all, Aaron Lennon, obviously up against his former club. What's he been like about the place?
No, he's been good. He's adapting to what we are and what we do. Played him slightly out of position as well. We played him on the left instead of the right, which is more normal for him to play on the right. But no, he's adapting. I think he's enjoying it. I think he's enjoying this football. You know, I'm pleased. One thing I'm very pleased about, I think most players here tend to enjoy what we're about and what we're trying to achieve.
And what kind of reception should Michael Keane expect coming back to Turf Moor?
Well, I'd be amazed if he got nothing other than a very good reception. You know, he's a fine player for Burnley Football Club, not just on the pitch but off the pitch as well. The way he conducted himself, the way he was around the group, around the supporters, and around the club at large. So, you know, we'd certainly, you know, enjoy having him back, albeit for a fleeting day. But no, he was terrific for us, and like I say, both on and off the pitch.
And why do you think we haven't perhaps seen the levels of form that he showed here at Burnley with Everton this season?
Well, big change your format, change your system, change your ways of playing. Also, you've got a club that, you know, is in or was in a transition in the summer. It's all right saying about they spend lots of money, but it's still a transition. Whether you spend lots of money or not, you've still got to mould them players into a new group, an effective group. And, you know, you're playing your part in that. That can be difficult, you know, for the individual and for the team. And that's shown a little bit early season from Everton, trying to bring it all together as a team, and still slightly so. But there's a team of very good players there, and I think Keano's one of them. So over time, there will be a good side at Everton and a productive side. And at the moment, they are a good side, but their production is not quite as good. That can happen. You know, I think we've been a little bit like that lately. You know, I really believe in performance levels over a time, you know, consistency over a time, not in a naive way. You know, you've got to win a game, of course, and sometimes you'll take an ugly, horrible one to get that win. But over time, it pays you back. And I think Keano over time, I think his performances will be correct. And I think Everton over time will come out of a softer period, if you like, and be strong again, because they've got some very, very good players.
Maybe Michael is beginning to reap the benefits of a better run in the side. I think he started 8 of the last 10 for Everton now, that kind of consistency.
Yeah, well, it's strange. There's a few question marks suggesting he wasn't wanted there, but he's just played 8 out of the last 10, as you said. So he seems to be getting on with his football, and you know, beyond Saturday, obviously, as ever, we wish him well.
Thank you.
That's it. Not be up here. Hands off. Oh, sorry.
Scott is probably the only one who apart from the long-term ones, Scotty Arfield's probably the only one who I don't think will make it for Saturday. So far, looking at today, and obviously we had a game on Tuesday, the other lads trained on Tuesday, then all the runners and riders we were expecting have come through that well. So Scotty Arfield's the only one at the moment, other than, as I said, the long-term lads, obviously are Robbie, John Walters and Stephen Defoe.
Okay, cameras off then.